Forget everything you think you know about ninjas. The black-clad assassins scaling castle walls in the dead of night. The throwing stars and smoke bombs. The mystical warriors who could turn invisible and walk on water. Complete fiction. The real ninjas were farmers, merchants, and servants who lived double lives, and their actual daily routine was far more fascinating than any Hollywood movie. Today, we're stripping away centuries of myth to reveal what a ninja actually did from sunrise to sunset, and why the truth is more incredible than the legend. Introduction. The word ninja comes from Shinobi no Mano, meaning one who endures or one who acts in stealth. But these weren't professional assassins. They were intelligence operatives, and their most important skill wasn't killing, it was blending in. Real ninjas lived in specific regions of Japan, primarily in Iga Province and Koka provinces, where geographical isolation had created communities of families who specialized in unconventional warfare and espionage. But here's what's crucial. Being a ninja wasn't a full-time job. It was a part-time calling that required maintaining a completely normal public life. During the Sengoku period, roughly 1467 to 1615, Japan was torn apart by constant warfare between competing daimyo. Traditional samurai warfare followed strict codes of honor, but information and sabotage required different skills entirely. That's where the shinobi came in. So what did a ninja actually do on a typical day? The answer might shock you. They farmed rice, ran businesses, and raised families. The espionage work happened in carefully planned missions that might occur only a few times a year. Their greatest weapon wasn't a sword. It was their ability to be completely unremarkable. The farmer by day. Most ninjas were farmers first, spies second. This wasn't just a cover story. Agriculture was their primary source of income and the foundation of their communities. Ninja families grew rice on small terraced fields carved into mountainous terrain. The agricultural calendar determined everything: planting in spring, intensive cultivation through summer, harvest in fall, and preparation for winter. This seasonal rhythm provided perfect cover for intelligence activities. The physical demands of farming actually supported ninja training. Rice cultivation required incredible endurance, standing bent over in flooded fields for hours, carrying heavy loads of rice bundles, and maintaining the complex irrigation systems that fed the paddies. This wasn't just farm work, it was conditioning that built the strength and stamina essential for covert operations. Beyond rice, ninja families cultivated soybeans, vegetables, and medicinal herbs. Many became specialists in growing plants that had both culinary and military applications. Certain mushrooms could be processed into mild poisons, while other herbs provided antidotes or sleep-inducing compounds. Knowledge of botany wasn't academic, it was operational. Food preservation skills doubled as survival training. Ninja families perfected techniques for drying, fermenting, and storing foods that would remain edible for weeks, exactly what you'd need for extended reconnaissance missions. The ability to prepare concentrated, portable nutrition was crucial for operatives who might spend days in enemy territory. Farming was inherently communal. Rice cultivation required coordinated effort, managing shared irrigation systems, organizing collective harvests, and maintaining the social bonds that held rural communities together. For ninja families, these community activities served dual purposes. They provided legitimate social connections and opportunities to gather intelligence about local affairs. Village festivals weren't just celebrations, they were intelligence-gathering opportunities. Ninja families participated enthusiastically in local religious ceremonies, harvest festivals, and community meetings. These events allowed them to observe visitors, overhear conversations, and identify potential targets or allies. Many ninja families held positions in village governance, serving as headmen, managing collective resources, or mediating disputes. These roles provided access to information about regional politics, economic conditions, and military movements that could prove valuable to their daimyo employers. The tools of farming and espionage often overlapped. A farmer's sickle could serve as a weapon, rope used for bundling rice had applications in infiltration, and the intimate knowledge of rural paths gained through farming was invaluable for moving unseen through enemy territory. The merchant's network. Many ninjas maintained second identities as traveling merchants, a role that provided perfect cover for intelligence gathering and gave them access to places farmers couldn't go. Merchant ninjas dealt in common goods, sake, textiles, metal tools, and regional specialties. But their real product was information. A ninja merchant might spend months building relationships with suppliers, customers, and competitors, creating a network that could provide intelligence across multiple provinces. Traveling merchants had legitimate reasons to visit castles, military camps, and government offices. They could observe fortifications, count troops, and assess supply situations without arousing suspicion. The merchant identity also provided cover for carrying unusual items, rope, metal tools, or chemical compounds that might seem suspicious to an ordinary traveler. Merchant ninjas became experts at reading people and situations. They learned to identify who had money, who had influence, and who might be willing to trade information for goods or favors. An experienced ninja merchant could walk into an unfamiliar town and within days identify the key players in local politics. Some ninja merchants specialized in particular types of goods that enhanced their intelligence value. Sake dealers had access to loose-tongued customers. Textile merchants could observe fashion trends that indicated wealth and status, and tool merchants could assess the military preparedness of different regions. Maintaining merchant records required literacy and numeracy skills that were rare among common people. Ninja merchants often served as informal bankers, keeping track of debts and credits across wide geographical areas. This financial information could be politically valuable. Knowing who owed money to whom could predict alliances and conflicts. Understanding currency exchange rates, seasonal price fluctuations, and regional economic conditions gave ninja merchants insights into political stability. A sudden increase in rice prices might indicate military preparations, while unusual demand for certain goods could signal planned construction or troop movements. Many ninja merchants joined legitimate merchant guilds, which provided additional cover and access to commercial intelligence networks. Guild meetings offered opportunities to gather information about economic conditions, government policies, and the activities of other merchants who might be working for rival daimyo. Some ninja families specialized in particular crafts, metalworking, pottery, or textile production. These skills provided legitimate sources of income while creating opportunities to supply specialized items to military forces. A ninja blacksmith might deliberately create inferior weapons for enemies while providing superior equipment to allies. The servant's access. Perhaps the most effective ninja cover was the most humble, domestic service. Servants were invisible to the powerful, had access to private spaces, and could observe intimate details of their employers' lives. Ninja servants understood that their value wasn't in dramatic confrontations, but in patient observation. They learned to read the subtle signs of political tension, which officials met privately, what topics caused heated discussions, and how personal relationships affected political decisions. Cleaning gave servants access to private papers, personal belongings, and confidential spaces. A ninja servant might spend months working in a castle, gradually mapping the layout, identifying security weaknesses, and learning the routines of guards and officials. This information could be invaluable for future operations. Kitchen duties provided opportunities for more direct action. Ninja servants learned to prepare special meals that could induce sleep, mild illness, or temporary confusion without causing permanent harm. They also learned to identify signs of poisoning and could serve as food tasters to protect their own employers. Maintaining clothing and textiles required detailed knowledge of different social classes and their dress codes. Ninja servants could identify the rank and regional origin of visitors by their clothing, and they understood how to dress appropriately for different infiltration scenarios. Senior servants often managed complex households with multiple staff members. Ninja servants in these positions could recruit other operatives, coordinate intelligence gathering, and organize the household's activities to support covert operations. Serving guests provided opportunities to observe visiting officials, military commanders, and political figures. Ninja servants learned to read the subtle signs of alliance and enmity between different factions, information that could predict political developments. Literate ninja servants often handled correspondence and record-keeping for their employers. This provided direct access to political intelligence, military plans, and economic information. Some ninja servants became so trusted that they effectively served as secretaries to important officials. Many ninja servants participated in religious ceremonies and cultural activities. These events provided opportunities to observe the broader social and political networks of their employers while maintaining their cover as devoted household staff. Training in plain sight. Ninja training didn't happen in secret mountain fortresses. It was hidden within normal daily activities. Every aspect of ordinary life became an opportunity to develop the skills needed for covert operations. The physical demands of farming provided excellent conditioning. Carrying heavy loads of rice developed strength. Working in flooded fields improved balance and coordination. And the endurance required for agricultural labor built the stamina needed for long reconnaissance missions. Ninja families practiced martial arts, but not the dramatic combat styles shown in movies. They focused on practical techniques for subduing opponents quickly and quietly, escaping from restraints, and moving silently through different types of terrain. Even recreation served training purposes. Traditional games like Kamari, a type of football, developed agility and coordination, while board games like Go and Shogi enhanced strategic thinking and pattern recognition skills that were valuable for intelligence work. Many ninja families were devout Buddhists or practitioners of Shinto, and their religious observances included meditation techniques that enhanced concentration and emotional control. These practices weren't mystical, they were practical methods for maintaining composure under pressure. Ninja children received education that seemed completely normal, but included subtle training in observation, memory techniques, and social manipulation. They learned to read and write, but also to notice details that others might miss and to remember complex information without taking notes. Seasonal activities provided training opportunities. Winter hunting taught tracking and stealth skills. Summer festivals developed crowd navigation abilities, and seasonal travel for religious pilgrimages provided opportunities to scout potential target areas. Participating in construction and maintenance projects taught ninja families about architectural principles, building techniques, and the creation of hidden spaces. This knowledge was invaluable for infiltration missions and for creating secure storage areas for equipment and information. Social gatherings provided opportunities to practice social manipulation, information gathering, and behavioral mimicry. Ninja families learned to adapt their behavior to different social contexts, making them more effective at blending into various environments. The mission preparation. When actual missions arose, The preparation was meticulous and could take weeks or months. This wasn't about grabbing weapons and sneaking out at night. It was about creating comprehensive plans that accounted for every possible contingency. Mission planning began with extensive intelligence gathering using their established networks. Ninja operatives would consult with merchant contacts, servant allies, and farming communities to build detailed pictures of target areas, including guard routines, architectural layouts, and political dynamics. Creating convincing disguises required extensive preparation. Ninja operatives needed to master the speech patterns, mannerisms, and specialized knowledge of their assumed identities. A ninja posing as a merchant needed to understand current prices, trade routes, and commercial practices. Equipment selection was based on mission requirements and concealment needs. Tools were often modified versions of common items, farming implements that could serve as weapons, merchant supplies that concealed specialized equipment, or household items that had been adapted for specific operational needs. Detailed route planning included primary and backup paths, safe houses, supply caches, and escape routes. Ninja operatives studied maps, consulted with local contacts, and sometimes conducted preliminary reconnaissance missions to verify information. Mission timing was coordinated with other activities to provide maximum cover. Operations might be scheduled during festivals when extra travelers wouldn't attract attention, or during seasonal activities when unusual movements could be explained by legitimate business. Ninja teams developed sophisticated communication systems using everyday objects and activities. Arrangements of stones, specific types of clothing, or particular ways of displaying goods could convey complex information to other operatives without arousing suspicion. Every mission included detailed contingency plans for various scenarios: what to do if the primary plan failed, how to extract team members if they were discovered, and how to protect the broader network if operations were compromised. After the mission. After completing missions, ninja operatives faced the challenge of seamlessly returning to their normal lives while processing and reporting the information they had gathered. Information gathered during missions was carefully analyzed and prepared for transmission to employers. This required sophisticated understanding of what information was valuable, how to verify its accuracy, and how to present it in useful formats. Maintaining operational security after missions was crucial. Ninja operatives had to ensure that their activities hadn't compromised their cover identities or endangered their families and communities. This often required careful monitoring of local reactions and adjusting behavior accordingly. Returning to normal life required psychological adjustment. Ninja operatives had to suppress their specialized knowledge and resume their everyday roles as farmers, merchants, or servants, without revealing any indication of their recent activities. Successful operations required maintaining the networks of contacts and relationships that made future missions possible. This meant continuing to nurture merchant relationships, servant positions, and community connections that provided ongoing intelligence value. Payment for ninja services was often indirect: preferential treatment in trade negotiations, protection for family members, or assistance with agricultural activities. This system helped maintain the fiction that ninja families were ordinary members of their communities. Conclusion. The real ninja weren't superhuman warriors or mystical assassins. They were ordinary people who developed extraordinary skills for gathering intelligence and conducting covert operations while maintaining completely normal public lives. Their greatest achievement wasn't any single dramatic mission, but the creation of sustainable intelligence networks that operated for generations. These networks influenced the course of Japanese history while remaining largely invisible to the people they were observing. The ninja tradition demonstrates that the most effective intelligence operations don't rely on dramatic confrontations or advanced technology. They depend on patient observation, careful planning, and the ability to blend seamlessly into ordinary life. What aspect of real ninja life surprised you most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden truths of history. In the next episode, we will look at what it took to endure a siege in a Japanese castle.